something that's like, you know what I mean, something that's like free. So it's like
I also worked in the medical field.
okay then. So
I'm
this is
very diverse.
well, this is what I was saying, right? Because you see like a lot of things that they can simplify, like real estate. We already know that crypto will dominate real estate, and a lot of the money management and missing money, or like the due diligence that you have to do on real estate, crypto will be able to like seal that up and make sure that me and you could just transfer our house in like minutes instead of months.
Right.
So like,
so here's the thing.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
I remember now, and you were speaking about regulations and all that. So here's the thing. People don't understand that it's not just about taxes. When they speak about regulations, there's a lot of things that need to be covered. And the reason why this is a big issue and people don't realize it is because they have to analyze fraud. They have to analyze anti-money laundering. They have to analyze sanctions. Also, what else? Of course, you have taxes, but taxes is not even the biggest part. The biggest part is literally transferring the current banking regulations to apply to crypto.
Yeah.
And also the frameworks. And here's the thing. What people don't understand is that they created cryptocurrencies to be completely different from the current banking system. But literally what they're doing with regulations and policies and the frameworks is bringing the existing financial regulations and frameworks and policies into crypto. This is why it's such a big thing, and this is why it's so important for people to become informed and actually partake in these town meetings, these meetings with representatives and Congress and all these people, because they're literally just transferring the same regulations that apply to your banking system to the crypto system. That's all they're doing. And people don't realize it because, they're not part of the industry. But as someone that has seen the frameworks, has seen the regulations, has gotten the training, they're literally going to monitor your crypto accounts the same way they monitor banking. So, for example, if you do a lot of transactions with an XYZ period, and it's above X amount of dollars, it's going to trigger the AI. And now this is where it changes, right? Because a lot of the banking systems, especially like credit unions, they have old softwares from like the 1970s, the 80s. A lot of these don't have newer technology. The difference with cryptocurrency, specifically with some of these exchanges, they're using AI. So in the back end, we will literally get a report that says AI flagged this because of this, right? So a human goes in, check the account, and see what AI is trigger, and then try to analyze why AI triggered that account, right? So that's the difference. They have the AI, and AI will trigger an account for any little reason. It could be the stupidest thing. It could be that, let's say, you're in the United States, right? And you traveled to Cuba. And Cuba is what's called high risk, and it will be a sanctioned country, right? So if you go to Cuba for whatever it is and you buy crypto there, they're gonna see that you bought it there, and they're gonna track your IP, right? So what's gonna happen? You're gonna get an email, and they're gonna say, "We need proof to show that you live in the U.S. and that you were just traveling in Cuba." So these are all the things that people don't see. You also have not only the regulations, the frameworks. There's also what's called travel rules, where it's literally, how before some of the banks have it, some of them already took it away, but it's called a travel rule. So before, if you travel with your credit card, it will flag you, and you will get like an email or a call saying, we detected your card was used XYZ. Is this fraud? And you will get a text that say yes or no.
Oh, you make it
It's the same thing with crypto. So if you're traveling, like even as an employee, there's certain countries that you cannot go with your work laptop.
Yeah.
Because it would trigger the system. So it's a lot that people don't see because, they're just a retail investor. But when you go behind the scene and you actually work for the industry and you're able to see all these things, it's so much more than just taxes, and it's so much more than we just have to regulate this, because there's so many different factors that come into play. And now you got to understand, it's a global thing. It's not just statewide, citywide, countrywide. This is, so like, for example, a company like Coinbase, they have to have these regulations for every country, every city. In New York State, in New York, not New York, in the U.S. is different, because the U.S., for example, New York has their own restrictions compared to, let's say, Wyoming. Wyoming is more crypto friendly. New York State, it's completely different. So now you got to think about the state regulations, the city regulations, the country's regulations. In the U.S., in America, and then now you got to do that for every country that you're trying to enlist. So it's, again, you're gonna see the regulations come in, and regardless of what happens, they're just gonna make it tighter and tighter and tighter, because at the end of the day, the wealthy want to make money from this too. So the tighter the regulations are for the people, the easier it's going to be for institutions to dump more money, because they're putting the safeguards for themselves. They're not putting the safeguards for the people, they're putting it for themselves. That's another thing. Regulators, for the most part, don't understand the technology. So you literally have cryptocurrencies, like the bigger companies that are known for education, going out to these places and educating these regulators, educating law enforcement how to deal with crypto fraud. That's another thing people don't speak about. You also have, like, Binance just had a meeting with the government of Thai and their law enforcement, teaching them how to detect fraud in crypto, how to study the cases, what process they have to take, and all these things. So there's so much more that, again, your average retail investor don't see, and they just think regulations are bad. Like, in the end, they create the game, so they're gonna make their own rules.
I have a point I wanted to touch on that, and I tell people all the time, not to cut you off, but just to add to that, like, regulations is needed, because initially, if you read the white papers, like, the blockchain was invented for just everybody to be on the same playing field. And it's like, you can't just